Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds, hanging out with.
Nerdarchy is dead.
And we explore 3 new ways to use your recovery dice for the Druid.
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So we're going back into our series where we're playing around with recovery dice, healing hit dice, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter, because now we're at the Druid.
So, Druid is awesome. Druid is amazing. One of the cool classes in 5th edition. And when looking at its actual breakdown, I was like, well, we can't really just divide this up easily between, let's put something for moon, put something for land, and something for both. Because while the moon focuses on wild shape and the land focuses on spellcasting, they both have access to both.
Right, so it didn't seem to make quite as much sense. Where the barbarian had specific abilities and it kind of like deviated from each other. The Druid, everything intertwines. It's just where are they putting their emphasis?
So we came up with some ideas after tossing around some other ideas that didn't quite make the cut. So while there are ones that are heavily emphasized towards one, we think that it's all useful for all of it.
Pretty much. So one of the first ones we came up with is this idea of you're more of a skin changer, right? You're the master of the beast form.
So with this one, we said, well, how cool would it be to actually be able to go right from one wild shape form to the next? Okay, well, I'm a lion. I'm in combat. There's a problem. Now I need to fly away, so I'm going to shapeshift into a bird and, fly away.
So the struggle with this is the fact that druids, especially Circle the Moon druids, are very tanky because of their wild shape. So how do we make this like cool and interesting and a fun thing that the druid has for an option, but it doesn't just totally like overpower what the druid can do? That was like the dilemma with coming up with it. So we had to use a little brain power and finagle some things.
So in the case that you're going from the lion to the bird, it's not usually a big deal. But what if you're a wolf and you want to be a dinosaur? That's where it turns around to, oh, well, they're going crazy on me now. So what if your hit points in Form 1, when you shift to Form 2, you take whatever is lower? So if you're a wolf and you're fighting and you get dropped to 1 hit point, well, then you're probably not going to use your wild shape right then and there to turn into a dinosaur, because you're going to be a dinosaur with 1 hit point. But in the case where you're trying to get away, so you turn into a bird to fly, well, if they don't have any ranged weapons and you're not going to provoke any attacks of opportunity, then it's all great, because then you can be a bird, you can fly, and they can't get you.
Yeah, the real issue is we wanted to overcome was this isn't a way to reset your hit points. We wanted to have fun and cool things come up where, maybe you need another form now all of a sudden, but we don't want the druid to have to use his wild shape for it. Maybe you need to go under a door, but you're a rhinoceros and this isn't going to work. But if you could turn into like a snake or something, it would work.
So this technically does get you another wild shape, but you have the caveat of you must be already in a form, and it doesn't reset your hit points. So that there's good and bad coming along with that. The second one is the one that we kind of geared more towards the Circle of the Land, and you had a name for this one.
Oh yeah, this one is like one with nature. This is the nature communing one, and that's exactly what it does. Is you can spend a hit die and get expertise in knowledge nature. Well, it's not knowledge nature, it's just in nature, or holdover from previous editions, or survival. So you need to be really good at doing naturally things, and maybe you don't even have proficiencies in those skills, but now you can have expertise.
So you go right from, you might know a little bit, or you might not know nothing, but the land itself literally provides. It gives you the information you need, whether you're trying to track somebody, whether you're looking for food, whether you're just trying to get the lay of the land and know something about it that might be important to your quest. So we have to play around with, is it a set duration? Is it for a single check? So there's some interesting stuff there, but to get expertise, which in my opinion is a awesome thing to have in this edition, totally great.
Yeah, it keeps it interesting. It's totally thematic for you for a druid to use kind of like a supernatural ability to get a little bit more knowledge about the natural surroundings, and even if and it could be even really thematic in the sense that like, oh, the druid is someplace where he's not normally, and he wouldn't in reality know that much about this different terrain maybe, but then like he spends a moment to commune with nature, and all of a sudden, oh, I know the way, or they went this way, or something cool.
And if you really want to play around with it, if you've got somebody who's really into the role-playing aspect, you could literally have a role-play conversation with
a rock.
With what that commune is. You could literally, talk to the spirits, whatever it is that your druid's into. If the DM and the player are totally on board, all right, that commune, it might be a telepathic communication, no outward visible manifestation, unless you want, but it's a way of, making that be that much more special.
Yeah, I feel like all three of these are a lot more shamanistic in kind of their feel. Which that brings us to the last one, and that is when the druid actually has the ability just to invoke the spirit of the beast.
All right, so this one is this one's my favorite. I think this harkens to my love of kind of monstrous humanoids.
Oh, not Brave Star.
Not Brave Star. Oh.
It was totally like Brave Star, though.
It's true. That's true. So in this one, you use a wild shape and your hit dice at the same time. And instead of taking the full form of the beast, for the duration, you have the spirit of that beast. And for that duration, you can invoke different aspects, whether you want natural attacks, senses, a movement type, some kind of special ability, all the things that you would normally have as said creature, but you can take one aspect. Okay, well, what if, I wild shape into a rhino, but as opposed to doing that, I just wanted strength.
Right, or
boom.
The trample ability or something like that. So what would be the benefit of that? Why not just turn into a rhino?
Well, because you still retain being a humanoid, and while, druids get the ability to, later in levels, have the ability to cast their spells while wild-shaped, low-level druids don't. So therefore, you could take this aspect of the beast, retain your humanoid form, still be able to cast your spells and do all the stuff. There's also no concentration on it, so you really don't get knocked out of your form. You don't take the hit points of said creature, so you just stay with that ability for your hit points. And let's not pass over you could look really awesome because you have taken on, size or features of this thing.
Right, I could definitely see this being role played one of two ways. And the one is like you physically transform, you got bear claws if you took the attack, or maybe you if you took the blind sight of another creature like a snake where they use their tongue, so you have the forked tongue or whatever. So it could be something cool like that. Or I could also see very much like what I've seen in different video games as well as comic books, Vixen from the Justice League.
Oh yeah.
Where you just you get this spirit form that
spirit outline that comes around you.
Yeah, it would be very visual and very cool looking, and kind of so it's a really hardcore supernatural effect that takes place. And again, it kind of harkens back to these abilities kind of make the druid even more shamanistic than they already were. So I think it's just something fun to play with, and opens up more options for the druid in the game. He just has to be willing to spend that resource.
Yeah, so I think so far of all the ones that we've done, the druid options are my favorite.
The most interesting, yeah.
I mean, I think they're all solid choices. Whereas some of the other ones, it's like, okay, well, I'd use those two. I'd use that one. This one, I feel like I'd use them all.
And yeah, and it's not just adding power to the game. It adds fun choices.
And in no way, shape, or form is any of this really adding power. Maybe the expertise would be the most powerful of the choices. The wild shape, change. Okay, well that gives you an extra and gives you, saves you time. But, and the other one, it's you kind of get part of the animal and access to your spell casting. So I don't know.
Well, and other things too, like traditionally animals have really bad armor classes. So as in your humanoid form, your armor class is actually probably better. But there's going to be other drawbacks because when you get the full package of the animal, they usually have superior physical stats. So it's a mixed bag, and that's why I'm okay with these choices.
Question is, what do you guys think? Do you guys enjoy this series? You can continue the conversation down in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over on Facebook.
So until next time, stay nerdy.